But it also helped me process that he was going through so much and he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. And he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone, with far more grace than she should have to. But we took the steps to really help her and communicate with her and make her feel seen and heard in it. And I think she also sees those words as something beautiful and also ugly. You know, it's a battle that she's going to always have with herself, but I know she can see it for both.
But it also helped me process that he was going through so much and he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that, and he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone. So Twitch's wife Alex and Hulkier is receiving a ton of backlash from fans and Twitch's family for revealing Twitch's skeletons before he unived himself. Like, we even have one Darielle, a cousin of Twitch, accusing Allison of requiring the family to sign non-disclosure agreements to attend his funeral. OMG, when I tell y'all it's been crazy, just get ready to pick your jaws up off the floor because this whole Twitch situation just took one unexpected turn. Okay, we all know that Twitch was found in a hotel room after he unived himself, and while there has already been a lot that has been said about how sketchy the wife was about the entire situation, Allison is opening up more about what happened, and let's just say that she's not making anything better now. In her recent interview with People, Allison said that she was with one of her really dear friends and they were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for Twitch for the funeral when she uncovered a cornucopia of substances, including mushrooms, pills, and other substances she had to look up on her phone, hidden inside his shoe boxes. Then she said, it was a really triggering moment for me because there were a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. It was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue about. It was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out, but it also helped me process that he was going through so much and he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. Based on what she said, she believed she and Twitch had very honest communication, including about his use. In fact, she said that at night after their kids went to bed, he would quietly slip into their guest house to smoke or drink. She said that that was his alone time and it was his time to recharge, and that was okay. She also said that while Twitch was acting withdrawn, showering less frequently and smoking morning and night, and told her that he was going through a low period. He was very careful about this wording, but she said that as she combed through his journals hoping to find clarity and closure after his death, she learned her husband had hidden painful secrets from even those closest to him. In her words, he was wrestling with a lot inside himself and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone because he loved everyone so much. He didn't want other people to take on his pain. Allison also said that Twitch alluded to being by a male figure during his childhood in several of his journal entries, and that may have affected him until the day he died, according to her. Reading the journals and even going back into the books he had read, and the things that he was highlighting and lining really gave her a better perspective of where he was in life and the type of things he was struggling with. She said it left her with a lot of empathy towards him and sadness for all the pain that he was holding, and she also said that she's now sharing his struggles and the aftermath of his death in hopes of saving even just one person who's been struggling in silence. In the interview, she also said it was really hard to put all the pieces together through certain discussions, even with friends, and things that have been said. Reading through his journals, you realize he went through a lot as a child and he never faced it. It's hard to think that he never opened up to someone and wanted to face it to get through on the other side. I really hope people dealing with the same thing will help themselves out of the shadows and know that you're going to be okay. In hindsight, Allison said she believes Twitch was deeply struggling between being the extra Ed, Twitch's beloved public persona, and the introverted Steven, a man who yearned to be the perfect husband and dad to their 3 kids. And looking back, she realizes his 2 very different personalities were increasingly battling each other. She was like, when I would think about my husband at the time, I would think, oh, I love that Twitch is such a great performer. But then when he comes home, he feels safe enough to be Steven. I was with him for so long, and that's how he's been the entire relationship. I was like, it's a beautiful thing that he can be both. Something else she said was that the morning before he went missing, Twitch dropped off Wesley at school. She was the last person in their family to see him alive, and his final words to her were, I wish I could be your Superman. She added that Wesley still attends the same school, but having someone say their last words to you that you didn't really process at the time as being anything wrong, that's really hard, especially as a teenager. Regardless, according to Allison, Wesley handles it with far more grace than she should have to. She handles it with far more grace than she should have to. But we took the steps to really help her and communicate with her and make her feel seen and heard in it, and I think she also sees those words as something beautiful, something beautiful. And also ugly, it's a battle that she's going to always have with herself, but I know she can see. If for both sides, guys, I know it's a lot of personal information that Allison put out there about Twitch, and naturally it has people saying all sorts of things. Now, while some people are saying that it's a Lishan story and she has a right to grieve the way she sees fit, a lot of people, including Twitch's club friends and family, are saying they can't believe her. One family member, Daryl, a cousin of Twitch, even spilled that Allison required the family to sign non-disclosure agreements to attend his funeral, and after saying that she doesn't care about the NDA, Daryl wrote, "This crazy woman made me and his actual family sign an NDA just to even attend the funeral. She's been trying to tarnish his legacy and refuses to let the boss family see the children, only to exploit and to lie on my cousin. Hell no." Daryl also wrote that contrary to what Allison was trying to imply, Twitch wasn't an addict. He smoked weed and was actively trying to quit, but he wasn't some junkie. Remember, Twitch's family had already previously claimed that Allison was keeping the kids away from them, and the brother Dre even claimed that since his brother passed on his side of the family had been denied access to the children, he actually took to Instagram to say that his mother and grandparents were trying to process Twitch's death, but that they had been disrespected and alienated from family affairs. Then, without explicitly naming their mother, Dre said his late brother's 3 children had noticeably limited interactions with their grandmother and the wider family. He also wrote in his post addressing Allison, "We have sensed an overall lack of respect and consideration towards our mother, who is also grappling with the loss of her son. Her deep sorrow is only amplified when she is alienated from family matters that she has every right to be involved in. If you truly value our family's bonds, you'd understand the profound impact on his grandparents, who are grieving the loss of their first grandchild. Withholding their access to cherished memories during their later years is deeply unfair. Our appeal is not intended to point blame, but to foster a harmonious environment where our family can mourn and eventually heal together. It is my hope we can move past this phase and work together in honoring my brother's memory. Our actions should reflect the values he held dear: love, respect, and unity." Reportedly, with Allison doing the interview and even releasing a book, the family members feel extremely disrespected, and Twitch's friends apparently share the same sentiments. For instance, Twitch's close friend Courtney and Platt called the interview by far the most tacky, classless, opportunistic act she has ever seen in her entire life. Courtney shared a photo of the People headline and went off in the caption with an emotional message directed to Allison, saying, "I was there the moment you both connected. I was there the day you got engaged. I stood by your side on your wedding day. I was in your home the day he died. I was by your side because your husband was my family. It didn't matter how often we spoke, how often we saw each other, we were bonded forever. This is by far the most tacky, classless, opportunistic act I have ever seen in my entire life. We all had to sign some weird NDA to attend his funeral, even his own mother, who you've treated like garbage this entire time. And let's just remember, you wouldn't have even had a husband if it wasn't for her not to share anything or ruin his name, as if that was on anyone's mind in the first place. And here you go and write a book with all the dirty laundry, smearing his name and attempting to dim the bright, loyal, loving light that was your husband, my friend." Honey, Courtney had so much more to say, and no one even quote everything for you. And you know what? Twitch's brothers actually reposted Courtney's post, meaning they agree with everything she said. In addition, fitness instructor Kelly Gibson also questioned Allison's statements, writing, "The whole thing makes me sad. He's gone. Why tear apart his name? I was fully supportive about you moving on and being happy, but this paycheck was not worth disgracing his name. You No." Allison actually responded to Kelly and wrote, "I'll always love you, just trying to make people feel safe to ask for help and support." Child, for anyone who thinks that Allison has overshared, y'all better get seated, cause she also has a memoir titled This Far that will be out February 4th, where she will also detail some of the things she went through.